Has Trump's threat shaken Apple? Will India gain or lose? Have you ever thought that the iPhone you carry in your hand is actually the result of the combined effort of 12 countries? And now, with Donald Trump threatening to impose a massive 25% tariff if Apple doesn't bring iPhone manufacturing back to the US, the entire global supply chain might be on the verge of a shakeup. Can one politician's economic nationalism reshape the strategies of the world's biggest tech company? And the most crucial question, what role will India play in all this? Will it suffer losses or gain a new global responsibility? This is the most important story in tech politics today, one that could redraw the industrial map of the next decade. Stay tuned to our channel for the full video breakdown. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for all the latest updates. Making an iPhone isn't the job of a single country. It's an international alliance where Apple brings brand value and design, South Korea provides screen technology, Japan supplies camera systems, Taiwan manufactures chips, the US contributes parts via companies like Broadcom and Qualcomm, and countries like India and China handle the final assembly. If an iPhone costs $1,000, nearly $450 goes straight to Apple for its software, design, and brand. But here's the most interesting part. India and China, where the iPhone is assembled, earn just around $30 per unit, only 3% of the total cost. This reveals how countries with cheap labor and large-scale manufacturing capacity form the backbone of global tech giants. India employs around 60,000 workers in Apple's assembly units. China employs over 3 lakhs. The hands of these workers form the foundation of Apple's entire hardware supply chain. But now, with Trump pushing Apple to shift manufacturing to the US, this balance could be disrupted. According to GTRI founder 𝐮𝐩𝐿, such a shift could instantly transfer 60,000 Indian jobs and 3 lakhs Chinese jobs to the US. This is political signaling. Trump wants to show American voters that Made in USA is back. But the real question is job creation alone a sign of economic strength, or does manufacturing feasibility matter more? But the big question is it even feasible? Technically, yes, but economically, it's a major challenge. In India, an average iPhone assembly worker earns around $230 per month, while in the US, this cost can rise to $2,900 per month, a 13x jump. If Apple were to assemble the iPhone in the US, the assembly cost would jump from $30 to $390. Unless Apple raises prices, its profit margin would shrink from $450 to just $60 per phone. A business model built on brand value, cheap labor, and an efficient supply chain could crumble under political pressure. So where does that leave India in this global shuffle? If Apple moves assembly to the US, does India lose? According to GTRI, not necessarily. In fact, it may open up a new opportunity. Right now, India earns about $30 per iPhone, much of which goes back to Apple through subsidies under the PLI, Production-Linked Incentive Scheme. Also, India currently imposes very low import duties on smartphone components, which discourages local component manufacturing. If Apple shifts away, India might be forced to enter deeper manufacturing, displays, batteries, chips, instead of just assembling. And that pressure could become the trigger for India's next manufacturing revolution. This point becomes even more crucial because the world's major tech companies are no longer just focused on assembly, but on component manufacturing. If India invests in this direction, it could become a manufacturing hub not just for Apple, but for the entire electronics industry. In the long term, India could gain high-value manufacturing in exchange for a temporary loss in assembly contracts. This shift would not only boost employment, but also push India significantly toward technological self-reliance. It would transform India from merely an outsourcing destination into a global innovation center. Now, coming to Trump's warning, he clearly stated on Truth Social that every iPhone sold in the US must be made in the US, or else Apple will face a 25% tariff. This isn't a new stance. Trump had warned Apple in the past when the company started shifting production out of China to countries like India. Today, as iPhone manufacturing in India surges, and reports suggest that a large portion of iPhones sold in the US in the June quarter will be made in India, Trump's frustration is understandable. But the bigger question is, will this frustration lead to practical solutions or push global trade into deeper uncertainty? However, this will directly impact iPhone prices in the US. If Apple chooses to absorb the tariffs, it may raise product prices. If it shifts manufacturing to the US, the higher labor costs will again push prices up. In both scenarios, the consumer bears the burden. Moreover, Apple's sales could decline. Its strategy of low-cost manufacturing through India, China, and Vietnam is now threatened by Trump's tariff-centric economic nationalism. And it won't stop with Apple. Brands like Dell, HP, and even Tesla may be forced to rethink their supply chain models. The core challenge for Apple is to balance its brand value, profitability, and market accessibility. Shifting production to the US may satisfy Trump's demands but could disrupt Apple's global supply chain. On the other hand, continuing production in Asia while paying tariffs may invite political backlash in the US. In this deadlock, India's role becomes crucial as a reliable, scalable alternative for global electronics manufacturing. This is India's moment to transition from being just a service provider to a supply chain leader.
If our video has taught you something new, do not forget to like and share this video so that this information can reach others as well. Your likes and shares are a source of inspiration for us. If you have any questions or suggestions, please let us know in the comments. It will be our honor to answer your questions and listen to suggestions. And yes, if you like our content, subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so that you stay connected with every new story. Thank you. GRT Business YouTube channel sources, news from various news agencies, opinion polls and other public sources. We try to ensure that every report and summary is accurate and verified, but we are not responsible for any dispute or error. Our aim is only to provide you with accurate information.